I'm Carrie.
I'm Tony, and we are.
Two Cranky Creatives.
Thank you for listening. And remember, if you're impatient, allergic to ads, or just want to support our cranky little corner of the podcast world, join the Cranky Club. Subscribers get ad-free episodes and early access. Yep, a whole week early. Hit subscribe and join the club.
What are we cranky about today, Mindy?
Doing all the challenges, all the creative briefs, and following someone else's inspiration to try to make a living at art.
Oh my
Yes.
God. Yep.
Love it.
Yep. Listening to someone else. Yeah, it's a bad idea. And it makes me cranky too. So everybody, today we are joined by the amazing and talented Mindy Young. And Mindy, I would love for you to introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be able to talk to your audience and with you guys. Thank you for the invite. So I am a watercolor designer and I made my career selling on Spoonflower. So I just started painting up flowers at nap time for my daughter's nursery at the time I was pregnant. Couldn't find anything on the market that I liked. And so I just started painting stuff. And then I found Spoonflower to make my own wallpaper and fabric. And it just took off. And I made a career out of it. And it's been amazing. And I never even saw it coming. So that's kind of the backstory.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Mindy, I see your art, your Spoonflower products featured in their emails a lot now. So it's obviously working out really well for you, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's been great. Thank you. Thanks.
Cool. You know, when you were stating the cranky complaint, what you said resonated for me when you said using somebody else's inspiration. And as much as they drive me crazy, I never thought about it that way. And I think that's key, that it's somebody else's inspiration that you're working with at that point in time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like in the beginning, it's okay to kind of like get help, right? Because we're learning and we're practicing, especially if you're like a new artist and you've never like created art before, you know, you're learning like the practice of it. But I feel like so many in the art industry now are like addicted. It's almost like the lottery mentality. Like they think, oh, I've got to enter every challenge because that's what's going to make me a successful artist. Because then I'm finally going to get seen. I'm finally going to get a license deal. You know what? You can win and still not get any traction after that. So like
Right.
I've never, ever, well, okay. So I lied. I did one challenge once because it aligned with me. It was a swimsuit challenge at Spoonflower. And I loved the brand that was doing it at the time. So I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. Didn't even place, didn't even like nothing. Like, and then I thought, this is why I don't do these. Like I'm too busy creating my own thing and like living in my own world that like I don't have time for this stuff because it's fun and we can get stuck in that rat wheel of like just having fun all the time. And when it really comes down to it, like if you want to be successful as an artist, you got to be intuitive. You got to like turn everything off, turn inward, and like start creating art from like your heart and soul and your story, your mission. Because that's what stands out. If you want to be someone who stands out and actually makes money with your art, that's like the key step. And that's what I'm trying to like take people and wake people up to. I'm like, you don't have to do all this stuff because I teach and like I look at these girls and I feel so bad for them because they feel so overwhelmed because there's so many things to enter and apply to and try to win and things. And I'm like, you don't have to do any of this. And you can pitch every day to that same brand. You can go pitch before the actual challenge ends and try to get that deal with them. You know, you don't have to wait for these things and you don't have to feel like you have to keep up with all of them too and create just like curated art somebody else kind of put together for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's true. And that's a good piece of advice that you like, if they're doing a design challenge, they're probably open to being pitched.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And you know, if the end result of the design challenge, if you win, is licensing, you know, now, I mean, it's good that you found out about the challenge because now you have the knowledge that this company is open to licensing, period. And, you know, like it's definitely worth pitching them. Completely separate from the challenge. I will say that as a Spoonflower artist, I I can tend to enter challenges a bit too much because I'm very competitive. And I'm like, why not? I really want to enter this. But I have placed in the top 10 twice. And both of those, one of them did okay, but not really. I haven't made that many sales. I don't even think I've made a sale of that one bug pattern in like over a year. And like the sea creatures one, it has done well, but not anywhere near like after the challenge. It wasn't until 6 or 8 months later. And it was really just because it had been sitting on Spoonflower enough and I had the right tags and people started finding it. So it's like likes on Instagram and wins and challenges do not necessarily equate to any kind of gain other than a feather in your cap.
Yeah.
Unless you're getting licensing and, even then you have to make sales. So yeah, it's like almost like you're being oversold on the magic of winning a challenge.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it doesn't help that some of these challenges say in their promotional things. I can think of one in particular. I'm just not going to name a name, where it's like, join your fellow artists who got licensed from this challenge, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I feel like it should be kind of like, God, what was that weight loss? Jenny something or other.
Jenny
like,
Craig.
Jenny Craig. And you'd see like way down in the corner, results not typical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I feel like, yes, anything's possible. And yes, people do get licensed off of a challenge, but that's not necessarily the norm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, like these companies would just be like, well, go do that challenge and then we'll buy your shit, So it's like,
well, also, I mean, like in the graphic design world where I came from, challenges are a bad word. That's like free spec work. Like you don't do that because when a company is like for exposure, create these, and I mean, yes, if it's a local amazing organization that's like a nonprofit, I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about when a company that's a for-profit company is like, design our next logo or design our next whatever, they're getting free design work out of you and not giving you anything in return. And probably social media. I know where you're going. Tony's nodding her head. You go.
Well, no, actually, so here's the funny thing. And I mentioned this to you once before, Carrie. So like when I started a new Instagram, right? Tony Federico teaches, and which means I had a clean algorithm. And the thing that's been really interesting to me, because Instagram still wants to feed you shit. So it looked at like what I said I was doing and all that, and it started feeding me art contests, right? And the thing that I thought was really interesting is all the ones I'm seeing in the feed are paid. And that's what I was going to say. Is they're like, if you win, we're going to give you $5,000. If you win, we're going to give you $1,000. And I think if you're going to like spend your time and energy doing some form of contest, there should be remuneration on the back end. You should get paid.
Yeah.
If you win.
In an ideal world.
But I mean, now granted, here's the thing. One person is going to get $5,000 and the hundreds of others are going to get nothing. So you still have to think about, is it worth your time and energy?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. So like when I'm teaching my students, I'm like, you guys, you have to just do stuff that's aligned, like turn it all off. And then if you happen to hear about one that's aligned with your art style, your brand, like exactly what you're great at, do it, because then you have a higher chance of winning too, because it's aligned with like who you are, what your art stands for. And you're more likely to get license deals after that too, because it's aligned with the exact message that you are trying to get, right? So like you're more likely to get like more work from that or to sell more stuff after that if it's aligned. But if you're just winning some random thing because you just created some random artwork with some random colors that they told you to do that doesn't even align with you, like nobody cares to come back to you. And do you want repeat business or do you want one-off business? There's a big difference.
That
like,
is, yeah.
I focus on creating stuff that I'm going to get repeat buyers. Well, I'm focused on my brand, my message, what I love, my style, all those things, because you attract those types of people to you that keep coming back for more. But if you're entering all these random challenges, nobody knows what you stand for. Nobody hears your voice. Like even if you are still kind of creating it in your own style, if you're creating all these random pieces of art, it doesn't resonate to anybody if you're trying to sell to everybody. And so you need to be more specific And only enter the things that are worth your time, because otherwise it's the lottery mentality. And everybody wants to win, but the truth is, not more than likely you're not going to win. So it's just like you've just got to really put your time and effort into the things that actually move the needle, like getting better at your craft, focusing, like taking classes. Like that would be more beneficial than working on this curated thing that somebody else has made to enter a contest. It'd be so much better for you to find like an artist that you want to learn from, that you love their style and you want to like make your style even better. Like you love their style and you want to learn their practice. Spend your time on stuff like that rather than wasting it on these challenges and then feeling deflated because you're so busy staying up with them that you have no extra time to actually do the work that it takes to run an art business. And so that's my thing. I'm on my soapbox all the time, and people are probably sick of me like blabbing about it. It's like make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. People don't want to listen to me. And I'm like, hello, like I am doing the things that matter. And I'm not doing any of those things that keep me busy. And so I don't know. It's one of those things where it's really hard for me to sit back and watch so many people, especially with like did you see the new surface pattern designer industry survey just came out?
Yep.
That Stacey just released. So I was going through that and I'm like, this makes me sick because it's like I'm making so much money and I feel like it's easy. Then yet so many people are struggling in the art industry. And then I'm like, but then I know like they're so busy doing stuff that really doesn't matter. If you can really tune into like your style, your heart, like your messaging, your brand, that stuff is what resonates and it will take you to the next level in your art business.
Yeah, no, you're right. And, I feel like this is a thing that I did kind of early on in my career. And I don't know if a lot of other people do this. They probably do. But in the beginning of when I was a surface designer, I feel like I was reacting to everything. So instead of, setting an intention and being like, putting my head down and being like, this is who I am, this is what I'm going to make. And I'm not going to scroll Pinterest or Instagram and feel bad about myself. And I'm not going to, I was literally like reacting to things that just kept coming at me. And then I would find myself at the end of the day going, I didn't make any of the art that I wanted to because I spent all my time. And some of these challenges are like, you have to do it in their format and put it in their sell sheet format, which is, I understand why they do that. But a lot of that is like, that is time consuming too. And instead of reacting to things and going, all right, what's the next thing that's coming at me? What if I just set, I was the one taking the lead and I was the one setting the intention and I just turn all that other stuff off. And when I started doing that, that was when I found success. And also when I said, you know what, I want to make this weird art that I like, and I don't care. It's not going to win any challenges. Probably. It may not even be a bestseller on Spoonflower because some of it is a little wacky, but, with licensing, I've been finding a lot of success because it's weird enough and unique enough that some companies, I found my audience. But if I had just been stuck in that rut, like you're talking about, of like, okay, so this person that I follow is having, or this company is having a challenge, and all you're thinking about is I want to sell, but you're not really thinking about who am I? Yeah, it's like and it's never ending. All you do is react to things, and it's also exhausting.
Yeah.
So,
who came up for me while you were talking, Caroline? How I called you Caroline. You know what? That is one of my clients today haunting me. I can't give that story. I'd probably lose my job. But she's haunting me. I'm just
my name could be Caroline. It's not, but Carrie is
yeah. Anyway, that's just too many emails today from one particular individual I prefer not to think about. So what was coming up for me though was Madeline from the graphics gang. So for listeners to know, we have a lovely designer in our graphics gang. And she was doing all the things, the challenges, the florals, the whatever that was out there. And then she decided to lean into her science background and changed everything up. She's now at Gifted Geek. So Madeline, sorry, but you're getting a shout out over at Gifted Geek, and her stuff is amazing, right? Mm-hmm. But she literally takes math and surface design and creates these amazing patterns that you would not think about, because it might seem like a floral or it might seem like a snowflake, but it's really a molecule. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, she just does this amazing thing. But to your point, Mindy, she found what was hers and really leaned into it. And now it's unique. And I know she's licensed some patterns. And so like, I like, to me, like that is like that exemplifies what you're speaking to. Right.
Yeah.
It was one of the masses, and then she kind of flipped it all on its head, and now she's this unique brand. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of us in this like artist world, we come from like difficult situations. I feel like a lot of us come from like and like past bad stuff. I feel like our art is what connects it's like it heals us and connects us. Mm-hmm. It's hard, I think, a lot of the times because of what we've been through, to be vulnerable and to like show our hearts in our art. When we do, though, that's when the magic happens. We're showing up like completely us. Nobody can compete with you when you're showing up like 100% you. Like you're creating the stuff that you love, the colors, the fill. You're writing, or like your storytelling in your artwork with things that matter to you. Your values, like things you believe in or you don't believe in, all those things. I used to work as an art director for a baby company that hired me actually only like, I was doing surface pattern design for like a year and a half. And they asked me to come work as an art director. I was like, whoa, I have no idea what I'm doing. It was amazing. Awesome. Like I learned a lot. Like after working as an art director, it helped me as a designer because I was like seeing what was coming in. We want to see people with story. We don't want to just see like the trendy thing that's coming like on the market that's the same as everybody else that's submitting stuff. We don't want to see the same stuff. We want to see story. And I would much rather hire somebody who has like a small body of work, who has a very strong story, than someone who has this big, huge portfolio with 50 patterns in it that mean nothing, that are just flat. They don't tell stories. It's just like they've filled up this portfolio full of somebody else's curated stuff instead of turning inward and like telling me their story. Because that's when I'm like, I want to hire this person and I want to reuse this person too for more projects because they have a beautiful signature style. And also I think like nowadays too, playing into the social media game, when you are like showing up on social media, showing like your style and brand, like I want to work with you too, because that's going to help sell our product when we do the collaboration, because your audience is going to want to buy that too because of your story. Yeah. So I look for that too as an art director. It's like, does this person not that they have to have a huge following, but they have to have like the groupies, the people who love their brand, right? The people who like are there for them, even if it's only 100 followers. I want to see that they have good engagement and that like people love their artwork because they're consistent and like there's a message being told. So I think that's where people need to turn nowadays more than ever, is just like tuning inwards and then like producing, like just like spewing it out of your body. And I love to do this. Actually, I'm going to share this with your audience because I love to do this. My students, like if you don't know what to make art about, or you don't know what story to tell, sit down and just draw a big fat circle on a piece of paper. And then I want you to fill every single ounce of that huge circle up of any story, your favorite things, the things you hate, the colors you love, where you grew up, like your whole life story. Everything about you, fill it up in that circle. And then you can go to that every single time you need an idea, because then you can pick those little stories, everything out of it, and create art based on that. And that I think will help so many people just get started in knowing how to like start developing their own artistic voice. It's just like, go to you, and then like you'll figure it out as you start to like do the work. It'll start to just I'm like just it'll start to blossom to something like beautiful as you like show up doing that work.
I think that's great. That's a great exercise. I've never thought about it personally like that. Um, I can't, not that I have some great technique that I use or anything like that. I'm just kind of like thinking about as I'm talking, like the things that would be in my circle. And I just think that's a really good exercise. And everybody should do that, quite frankly. So yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that with our audience, and listeners. We want to know if you do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. I mean, and you don't have to be a beginner to do that, because I can imagine myself doing that. Like, I think I've never heard that, technique. And I think that's great, because it's so easy to, without even realizing it, to fall outside of that. Because you're overwhelmed all the time and bombarded with not just challenges, but like other artists. And it may be amazing stuff that you love, and it may not even make you feel bad. You may be, I feel really energized looking at this. But the thing is that if you're kind of, when you sit down to draw, that's what's in the back of your head is, I love that this artist did this and that, versus you. It's just so easy to forget to come back to that. So it's like, I can imagine that being on like a mirror or like on my wall, like, don't forget, this is who you are. It's like, you have to constantly remind yourself who you are. And I have to say this really quick. So we are so lucky, because we are artists and we get to make visual images that are anything we want, that are representations of us, and whatever that means, where you grew up or what food you love or whatever. And we're so lucky. And yet we almost like forget it and ignore it and don't take advantage of how amazing this opportunity is as artists, that we have to like basically put ourselves out there and turn our, likes into visual images, and then maybe make money on them. Instead, we're just constantly like, you have to make money, you have to sell, you have to do what this person does, they're successful doing this, so you have to copy them. And it's like, I think that's a genius way to handle it, though.
I do too. And I had two thoughts while both of you were talking. One was, like as a writer, especially when I was getting my MFA, the standard advice is write what you know. So why aren't we giving that advice to artists, right? Draw what you know. Yep. Right. Draw what you know, because you know why? Because you're going to know the story. You're going to infuse that art with meaning, because it's what you know. And then the second thing was, and this always goes, I rag on my MBA all the time, but then I always bring up some kind of business thing, right?
Right. It is valuable. You keep saying it's not. Anyway.
I know. Well, anyway, yeah, that's a side note. So, but here's what I was thinking about. Capitalism and economics, which is this is what we live in within the United States. Ultimately, it comes down to, and this is what they'll tell you in school, it is the management of scarce resources, right? Scarce being the key word. And so I think that's where the mentality, or rather more like the ethos, comes in of like, I've got to do all the challenges, and I've got to try and make money, and I've got to try and do this, instead of kind of more like what Mindy is advocating for, which is like, turn inward, find your voice, do those things, be true to yourself, but more, and this might be putting words in your mouth, Mindy, so tell me if I am, but be patient, right? Do what you've got to do to develop who you are as an artist. And the opportunities, I'm not going to say that they're going to come out of the woodwork all of a sudden, but you kind of, they will present themselves and you will leap on them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when we don't do enough of that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like too, it actually happens faster for you the more you lean inward, because like for me, I didn't even know how to make a surface pattern design when I first started. I was in Photoshop and just like pretended to match up the seams. And then I had to go fix hundreds of designs later because I didn't know how to do it right after I figured out how to do it right. And so like a lot of us are just scared to get started and like just do it. Just like jump in and just do it messy. It's okay. Like you'll figure it out as you go. as long as you're staying intuitive with what you love and what your mission is and what your goals are, like, there's no stopping you. And people feel that energy. It's like magnetic. And I remember pitching after learning about surface pattern design. I kind of was like, oh, we should pitch, And so I went and pitched to a few companies and like, they said no. And I was like I'm just going to keep being great. And like, they can come to me if they want. And I had a company that turned me down, that begged me to come on with them. And I turned them down later because like it was like they couldn't offer me enough money because I was making so much money doing what I was doing now. I was a really shiny object to them. And they were like, oh, now we want you. And I'm like, too bad. Like, you said no the first time. Like, we're moving on now. So like, what happened for you too if you just stay aligned, because it's so magnetic when you are so aligned with what you love and your values and everything that you're producing into your art. Like, people feel that. It's magnetic. And I will tell you, I've pitched to very small few companies, most of the time never hearing back or anything. Every brand that I've ever licensed with, big to small, have all come to me. And it's through just having my Spoonflower shop was my portfolio. I just recently had my VA make me a professional portfolio. We still haven't used it. And it's got like hundreds of thousands of designs in it, but we don't even use it because Spoonflower has worked so well as an online portfolio for me. Even with big brands, you guys, I still license, like not having a professional portfolio. So it's like, if you love what you do, people are going to love what you do too. And you just have to have that energy behind what you do. Go all in.
I think one of the key unspoken things you're saying, though, Mindy, is leaning in on a platform as well. It sounds like you do Spoonflower. Like, I'm not hearing a million other POD sites from you. I'm hearing Spoonflower, right?
Yeah.
And I think one of the key rookie mistakes is spreading yourself too thin. And like, I had to learn that the hard way, right? Because I was like, well, I'm just going to do all the things. And very quickly was like, oh yeah, no, we're definitely not doing all the things. And have systematically shut down like, portal after portal after portal. Because I'm like, I'm not spending the time to get good at it. I'm not spending the time to learn what this particular platform, that was the word I was trying to find, platform, needs. So why am I wasting everybody's time to have a half-assed, like I saw the email from, because I am on Spoonflower. I saw the email from Spoonflower that's like, we're going to change our model. And, if you're not an active designer, we're going to be looking and review. And I'm like, 10 to 1, they're going to shut me down. Like, I'm waiting to get that. Cause like I did go on sabbatical earlier this year because I have a huge art show that I'm working towards. I don't have time to do all the stuff. So I fully expect my Spoonflower shop will get shut down. Okay. If that's what happens, that's what happens, but I'm like, I'm not going to rearrange my life and what I'm putting priority on right now to make sure I keep a Spoonflower shop. I love Spoonflower. All of the POD sales I've made have come from Spoonflower. But, at the same time, if that's not your artistic priority and that's not what you're going to do to learn how to be good on the platform, then you should let it go. I hesitated there for a second because there's a quote that always gets attributed to Albert Einstein, but it was actually the Congressman Barbara Feinstein that said it. So of course, a woman said it, it got attributed to a man. But it's first you have to learn the rules of the game, and then you have to play them better than everybody else. And it's the same concept. You have to learn how to be good at the thing that you're doing, but you can't spread yourself in a million different places at the same time.
Yeah, you can't be really great doing lots of different things. Like, think about multitasking. It's like multitasking. We used to wear that as a badge of honor, but really multitaskers get nothing really great done. They get a lot of little half done, but they don't get anything great done. If you want to be great, you got to have a whole nother type of energy. And I do think when you're starting out, you have to be on one platform, and you have to be on the platform that aligns with like your goals. Like, if you don't love fabric and wallpaper, get the freak off of Spoonflower. Like, if you're not going to learn, seriously, like if you're not going to learn like all the fabric types, you're not going to cater to their customer, like you're wasting your time putting your designs there. If you're not going to learn all that stuff, like just get off and go find somewhere else, because you're wasting your time, literally. Like you're not going to sell anything. And I became obsessed with Spoonflower because I originally wanted wallpaper and fabric for my daughter's swaddles. So like I was already in that world of like, this is going to work for me. And then because my style aligned with like fabric and wallpaper, that's why I think it even took off even more for me, because I was aligned with the platform I should be on based on where my art fits in the market. Yeah. And so that's something that I talk to my students about, is like, you need to, like in the beginning, it's like go all in, one place to market too. Like if you're on TikTok and Instagram and Pinterest and you're trying to do all of it, like figure out which one you want to be the best at and just learn it and just do it. Like social media is here to stay. Just figure out which one you want to show up the most on and then go all in on that platform and be the best at it. That's how you'll get momentum. It's just like one thing at a time and just go all in, and like you'll start to see movement. And like, so I was on Spoonflower, I still am, but because of their changes, it affected my business big time as a top seller. And my husband had to go back to work. He was working for me. It was scary for a little bit for us. And so we started selling and manufacturing our own wallpaper now, so that we're in control of something, because it scared us. So, but we've been doing that since July because I tested, because I know that product works for us. We have been able, since July, we've just hit $8,000 in sales this last month. And I'm elated, because it's like, when you know it works, you can expand it. But until you know it works, you can't expand. So don't try to expand yourself before, like too early, because once you know it works, you can do it again, and you can do it even better because you know it works. You can have more control on knowing where to like go next. You're ready to like expand.
Yeah. I think there's also something to be said for reading the tea leaves, so to speak, too, right? And where I'm going with that is like, I've talked to artists who are like, well, I really love to, and I'm just going to make things up right now, but I say like, I really love to do, let's say, floral repeat patterns, right? But like, the people come to them like, I really like, could you really do like geometrics or something, right? And the point that I'm trying to make is like, you're over here doing one thing, but you're getting traction, you're getting asks, you're getting requests for something over here. And you're so focused on this thing that you've decided is where you need to be focused on. You're not paying attention to where the interest really lies.
Yeah.
If that makes sense,
Yeah.
And instead, I think always being open is also part of finding yourself as an artist, right? I've mentioned this a couple times before, like I get requests for custom journals all the time. And like Karen is like, I have avoided and avoided and avoided and avoided. And I'm like, no, I'll just give it away. Cause I don't want to have to learn how to sell a fucking book. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, like I'm getting too many requests. I've skilled up too much. I'm doing luxury stationery for all intents and purposes right now. And so finally I was like, okay, I need to do the time study. I need to figure out what my costs are. I need to figure out if I can sell this viably. I need to figure out who all the competitors are. So now I'm doing all that work because I'm finally willing to listen to the universe. You know what I'm saying? And I think there are too many artists out there because what I'm realizing is that surface design is great and I love it, but I don't know that that's where I'm going to end up. Like, I think I might end up in the handmade world. You know what I'm saying? But I think in the surface world, like surface design world, there are too many artists who are like not listening to what the market is telling them.
Yeah.
And so they're staying in this one little space because they have decided, or they saw the trend from the Pinterest report, or whatever. And it's like, pay attention to what the market is telling you.
Well, right? And one thing, we talk about this a lot on the podcast, and Mindy, I think we even talked about this in the roundtable I was in with you. There isn't one path, and looking at someone else's path to success as what you should do is a terrible mistake. And it is going to lead anyone to become cranky because, just because this artist over here makes floral repeat patterns and, licenses them on, you know, whatever products like home decor or whatever, and you see like, you know, maybe you're learning from them, maybe you like their style, you know, maybe you're like, oh, I relate to this person. Oh, they, you know, they're from the same part of the country I'm from or whatever. And it's almost like you kind of just want to become them. And, you know, when I'm going to get real personal here, but when I was growing up, I was picked on a bunch. So I was like the dorky, out of place kid. And it didn't help that I moved to the United States from Saudi Arabia and had no idea. I think I've told this story, but somebody asked me if I liked Prince. This was in the mid 80s. And I said, what country is he the prince of? And I was not joking. I was serious. So I was like the Mean Girls, you know, the movie Mean Girls. That was really happening to me. And so my coping mechanism was to pretend in my mind that I was someone else and look at other people who were not necessarily popular, but like not as bad off as I was, and be like, well, who are they? What do they do? What do they wear? What do they eat? Where do they live? Who are their parents? What kind of pets do they have? And that is an okay thing to do, you know, if you are in a bad place or you aren't sure where you want to be. You know, and when I got older and I was like, oh, screw you guys, I'm going to wear all black and I'm goth and I'm going to listen to The Cure and whatever. And I embraced, you know, who I really am. But the thing is, as an artist, you can do the same exact thing. You're like, oh, look at this person. And then you kind of just start going down the rabbit hole of like watching all their classes. It's almost like you want to become them. Or maybe you want their income, you know, or what you think is their income, which is an understandable goal to have, but you're not them. We're all different. And that's what makes our art amazing and unique. And if you're just ignoring all the special gifts you have to share with the world as an artist, you're doing yourself and the world a disservice.
Agreed.
So
agreed. Yeah. Yeah. If it makes you feel any better, Carrie, I remember literally today, I was writing out something by hand and I literally had the memory of being in elementary school and watching this kid, Jeremy, write in cursive, because I am from the era where we learn cursive, and being like, I hate my handwriting. So I'd like trained myself to write like him and this other girl named Connie. And I was like, I don't even know what my handwriting would actually look like. Because like my handwriting is actually Jeremy and Connie's.
Oh, wow. So you
see what I'm saying?
By emulating them.
Yeah, I don't know what my actual handwriting is, but I do know that I loved their styles and like amalgamated their styles to create a handwriting. So yeah, I think we all do stuff like that.
Yeah. And it's okay if you do that, but just know that like you're going to be disappointed if you think the end result is going to be, you are going to have that person's life, because you don't want someone else's life, you know, like maybe you do in some ways, but you have something special. We all do, to give the world as artists, and you don't imitate other people. So yeah, but it's easy to do because there's so many great teachers out there. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think you have to understand you're always imitating when you're learning. Right. Because the teacher is going to put a template in front of you, or the teacher is going to give you a palette to work with, or the teacher is going to say, let's learn how to draw a butterfly. And you are, for all intents and purposes, drawing the teacher's style of butterfly. Right. And you do that again and again and again. But until, you know, and this is the only way I would say it's even appropriate to really, and I don't even want to say rely on, but like the one healthy way I can see doing design challenge or stuff like that is put out of your mind about it's going to get you exposure, it's going to get you deals, it's going to get you money, but just repetition. Okay. Yep. Go do an under the sea thing. Go do, you know, a snow, you know, Christmas 3-piece collection. Go do this, that, or the other, and just do your thing again and again and again. And what's going to happen is you're going to start to go, oh, you know what? I really hate sea creatures. That's not going to be a part of what I do. Oh, you know what? I don't like those pastels. So guess what? Not going to use those. Or I really love doing, you know, Easter collections with bunnies and eggs. But I mean, like, whatever it is, in the repetition of it all, because like I take a shit ton of classes. Like I take lots of classes. I'm like the perpetual taking a class.
It's fun.
It is fun. And the thing But I've always adopted, like, there's a quote by Bruce Lee that I have adopted as my like mantra for living. And it's research your own experience, absorb what's useful, discard what's useless, and add what's uniquely your own. And so whenever I take a class, whenever I look at anything, if I go to the museum, whatever, I'm always kind of looking at it through that lens of, all right, this was a great class. What do I want to keep from it? What am I like, oh, hell no, that's not me. Right. And then how it like add that unique little bit. Right. And so, yeah, if you're brand new and you're seeing all the challenges and you just want to spend time doing things to figure out who you are, have at it. But please don't expect that that's the way you're going to launch a career. That is the results not typical. Right.
Yeah.
That I want to share, like, when I was in the beginning, I remember going, because I didn't know anything about surface pattern design. This was all new to me. And I remember thinking, like, I don't think I have a signature style. I have to do it the way that this teacher's showing me how to do it. It like made my artwork awful because I was using a different program than what I felt natural in. Then I was finally like, more money doing it my way than trying to do it this teacher's way. So why don't I just do it the way that I do it? And I'm going to keep doing it this way. And like, so that brand that I shared that like begged me to come on with them, they couldn't believe how much money I made selling on Spoonfly. They're like, I have never heard of a designer making that much money. I'm like, well, you got to promise me that I can make that if I come to you, because I can't give that up. It's because I'm doing what I love to do, and I don't give a crap. The industry standards, I don't care. Like, I'm going to do it my way, even if it is going against the grain. I don't care. I've always been that way. If you tell me these are the rules, I'm like, I'm breaking them. I'm doing them whatever way I want. And take me or leave me, I don't care. You have to have that like kind of energy when you're first getting started, like the burn the boats. Like, you turn around and like, there's no going back. Like, you are going to go all in, and you're going to just work the hardest to be the best that you can be doing what you love to do. That's like my attitude every day, is like, how can I be the best what I'm doing? Not that I'm competing with everybody around me. We'll say I'm very competitive, and I do like to be the best. So like, I'm going to keep getting better and better and better at what I do, and taking classes and stuff that's in my niche, that's in my lane, so that I can become the best, so that I have that attraction. And so like, if you're too busy looking around at everybody else's stuff and what they're great at, you're never going to know what you're going to be great at. And you do have to try. I have a 10-minute art practice that I do every day. Like, I'm showing you here on this call, but it's just like, sometimes it's great work, and other times I'm like, that looks like a 2-year-old just did that. Like, not every day is going to be amazing work.
Right.
It's that practice of just putting in the hours, putting in the practice makes you better over time. You only can do that by showing up for yourself every day.
Yeah. No, I think that's very, very relevant. Carrie and I, we've said this a lot, repetition is the key in anything, right?
Yeah. It takes 10,000 hours or 100,000 hours of, what is that thing? You probably hate that, but it's kind of true.
I mean, I would say it's kind of true. I know what you're saying. I don't remember what the formula is supposed to be, but it's about mastery of a task or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, I recently embarked on learning chinoiserie, right? And took Diane Hill's foundations course. And went into it, and this is the first time I did this, but I went into it with the mentality of, I'm not going to rush to the finished product, right? Because of course she's teaching you how to paint something, and there's a finished painting that you do at the end, right? And so she has this very structured way that she's teaching. And so I made a conscious decision, one, that I wasn't going to keep up with the live class. I already knew that. But two, so if she taught us leaves, I was going to do 100 leaves. If she taught us branches, I was going to do 100 branches. If she taught us flowers, I was going to do 100 flowers, right? And I did, right? Yeah. And it took me, like, she does a 4-week class, I want to say, and it took me 6 months, right?
But you put
But
the time in. I mean, that's important.
right.
Yeah.
And it's like, and so like if you go to my sketchbook, it's leaves, again and again and again and again, but the point is by the time I sat down to do that final painting, I mean, I still made some mistakes, but I was like, I kicked ass. Right?
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, it was muscle memory at that point,
Right.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And along the way figured out I love doing branches. Like who knew that you would think, oh, you're going to love the flowers. I was like, nah, man, I kill it on a branch, man. I could get
That's because you
a
love the
branch on that.
geometrics. That makes total sense to me. That makes total sense. By the way, I have to drop this in here. So Mindy, I made the exact same mistake you did. When I first started out, I had over 200 patterns on Spoonflower that had hairlines in them because I didn't know what I was doing either. And I had to go back and fix them too. So I just had to drop this in there that I feel your pain. And man, I found out because somebody bought some wallpaper and contacted Spoonflower. They didn't return it. They just nicely contacted Spoonflower. And then Spoonflower contacted me and they're like, you have some lines in your pattern. And I'm like, oh no, I'm so sorry. Let me fix that. And then they explained how to test it correctly. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't been doing that the whole time. And then I politely fixed it immediately and everything was fine. But then I spent 2 weeks like just cursing myself, but I did it. But oh my God, was that not fun? So anyway.
Well, so with mine, we were on Spoonflower for like a year and a half, I think. And then I went and licensed with Hot Supply Co. They were the ones when I submitted all of my designs over. I still didn't even know that they were not matching up right. Even hundreds of designs on there. And then they're like, yeah, none of your designs match up. And they're like, no, weigh in and you'll be able to tell. I'm like, what? So I go zoom in and I was like, oh my gosh, none of them are even close. Like it's awful. And so that was a nightmare, like to have to go through all of those. It really, and thankfully we saved everything in PSD format so we could fix it. But it was like, that's so embarrassing. But that's the thing though. Like what I love about you, Carrie, is like you were willing to try and not care like if you didn't know. Because those are the people who get stuff done and like accomplish things in their life is because you're not afraid. You're not sitting on the fence overthinking everything. Like you're just jumping in and saying, I don't care if I look like an idiot. Like we're just going to figure this out.
Yep.
And those are the people who like get stuff done. And I'm thankful that my mom taught me at a young age to just do that. She was a single mom and she was like, you have to be a doer in life. You have to just get stuff done. Just try it. And you don't even know how it's going to end up. But you would much rather have failed trying than sitting on the fence wondering if you could have done something. And so I think that's like the biggest takeaway is like, just don't be afraid. Like, it's okay if you don't know. You're going to figure it out. And then you figure it out and you don't do it again.
Right.
You become better at it over time too, because of the hard, like you have to go through hard to be really good at something. And so a lot of us who have like made it to the top, it's like, you have no idea all the hard things that we went through. It looks like this perfect be ever after, like instant success. We went through a lot of hard stuff before we got here. And you have to just be like, yes, prepare yourself for that. But don't be afraid of it because really like sometimes it sucks in the moment, but you look back and you're like, I wouldn't change it. Like it'll
and it's never as bad. I mean, it may seem awful in the moment, but when you look back, it's like in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. It's okay. It was a learning experience, whatever. No problem. Yeah. I mean, like Tony and I have talked about this a lot, but like she is also my co-host in Graphics Gang and she knows, both of us were like, do you want to do a podcast? Let's just see what happens. Like we just were talking and got along really well. And we're doing Graphics Gang. And we're like, maybe we should try a podcast. We just tried it. We didn't know. We just started getting sponsorships and we're like, oh my God, we don't know what is the protocol for this? Like, we don't even know because we really put the cart before the horse, but we're like, oh, well, we're figuring it out
as we go.
Yep.
That's what we all do, right? It's like even the people at the very top. I've been surrounded by so many wonderful leaders in this industry, and I see their stories and I'm like, good heck, we all go through hard stuff. And from the outside looking in, it's like everyone thinks we have it together, but really we're all just still figuring it out. Even the very tip top of us are still trying to figure stuff out every day. And so it's like an ongoing, you're just constantly growing. And if you're not setting your goals high enough to actually achieve something. So it's like you have to get outside of your comfort zone. And it sucks sometimes. Like it feels like a bad sunburn, like that you're like, why did I go out in the sun? Like I shouldn't have. And then, but then you get a pretty tan after, right? And it's fine. And you're okay. It's like we've just gotta jump in with 2 feet and not to just like out there and allow ourselves to grow, because that's truly when you put yourself out there, you look back and you're like, dang, I'm so proud of myself. And you have to be your biggest cheerleader. Like that's the biggest thing I think in the art business is like, you have to be your biggest cheerleader, because nobody's going to come and love your work as much as you do. But if you freaking love it and you cheer yourself on, that's all that matters in the long run.
Yeah.
And truly, like you bring that energy though, like when you love it so much, everybody else is like, yeah, I want to love it too. Even if they don't even freaking love ink and flowers like I do, for some reason, they still want to follow me and see what I'm doing because they can feel that energy that I bring. So
yeah,
bringing that energy every day into your work is super important.
Yeah. We have kind of moved like intuitively into the advice portion of all of this. So, what we do at the very end, Mindy, is we kind of like give final thoughts and advice. Do you have anything to add to what you've already been saying?
Not really. We've touched on some good things. Really, though, like I guess to go back to my original cranky is like if you're doing the challenges and you feel tired and you feel like you're not going to make it in this industry, like just stop. Like go make some art for yourself. Like literally put your heart and soul into it. Like make something that you're so proud of. Like even if you post it on the internet and nobody likes it, like you freaking love it. That will help you in the long run get away from like the rat wheel. Like just jump out. Like just do it. Like you can do it. I promise you're gonna survive. Like you can do it. Just keep creating in that zone, or do the circle exercise. Like if you don't have ideas for yourself right now, you will. And it's like a muscle memory. Is you keep using that creative juice that's within you, and it gets stronger and brighter, and it keeps like pouring out of you. And we do have skills and stuff, but like it will come back big time if you just like keep practicing and like keep using it every day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about you,
I
Carrie?
love it. Mine it's really along the lines of what Mindy said, but I would just say, be weird. If you're weird, be weird. It's okay to be weird. In fact, it's probably better that you are weird. So don't be like, my art's so weird that no one's going to want it. No one's going to buy it. Don't think about that stuff. It's pretty much expanding on what you said, Mindy.
Yeah, but I think in the end, it comes down to creating the art you love, right? You create the art you love. My advice is not my advice. It's Bruce Lee's advice, right? It's, look at your own experience. So draw what you know, go out there, absorb what's useful. If you take the classes, walk away with the techniques, right? Like absorb what's useful, discard what's useless. And what's useless is anybody else's style that's not yours. Mm-hmm. And then add what's uniquely yours, your voice, your style, your story into it. Yeah. Right. And that is the most important thing. So that would be my advice.
Yeah. So. That's good advice.
Love it. Yes. Very good.
Cool. All right. So now we move into hot seat questions. All right. I preface this the same way every time, which is that I know I kind of wrote them as if they were specific to our industry, but they are not. They can be whatever you want them to be in terms of the answers. So, Mindy, least favorite software platform that everyone loves, but you just can't?
I've tried Affinity. multiple times. I, for the life of me, cannot Affinity. Like I hate that it's like a mix between Procreate and like Illustrator, and it like bugs me that I can't just flow and do it. Like I can't do it.
Yeah. You're not the
Cool.
first person who's said something along those lines. So yeah.
Yeah. I've been avoiding it. I mean, I have it. It's free now. I've just been avoiding learning it. So
it's just so different if you start with Adobe too. Like,
yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I thought it was going to be more intuitive, but I've been using Adobe for so long. I feel helpless in any other software now. So yeah.
I hear that. Okay. Least favorite buzzword you wish you could erase from everyone's vocabulary.
Did this industry specific. I just have to say that the market is saturated. I hate the word saturated because I'm like, it's never saturated if you're just freaking competing with yourself, because nobody can be you. And so like when you're in your own lane, your own little like pond, nobody can compete with you. And so it's like, I hate hearing the word that everyone's like, oh, it's saturated. There's too many designers on the market. I'm like, no, there is not. Like, there's billions of people out there every day who are like have the same businesses. There's a car wash on every freaking corner, but yet these car washes are very successful.
Yeah.
It's like when you just lean into your specialty and you bring the world stuff that nobody else can bring, even if it's similar style, even if you're doing flowers the same as me, they're not the same as mine and my story. Like we're all so different, and that would delete is saturated.
Yeah.
I respect that. No, I hear you for sure. All right. Last one. Least favorite piece of advice you hear floating around.
Probably that you need to do like challenges and all these things to get licensed. Like so many people, I know we kind of already touched on this. That really is like I said, I feel like everyone kind of thinks they need that in order to get licensed deals. And you don't. You can pitch every day, all day long to whatever brand you want. You don't have to wait for anybody else's permission or challenge or anything, creative brief, anything. Like you don't have to wait for any of it. Just go do it. Have courage. Go do it. Do it better than everybody else because you're doing it in your way. Art directors will pay attention. So it's like for yourself, trust in your ability to be amazing.
Yeah.
Love it.
That is awesome. Trust in your ability to be amazing. That's a great place to wrap it, I think.
I think so too. So Mindy, before we let you go, please tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at Indy Bloom Design, and that's on Instagram or my website, everything. You can find me there.
Awesome. So at Indy Bloom Design. Excellent. So we are going to call that a wrap.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us, Mindy. I really loved hearing your advice. I'm going to go try that circle thing. Oh, it's good to just remember these things. So thank you for reminding me to, stop looking around at everything else.
I agree. I'm going to do it too. Thank you for coming on the show. It's been great to have you here.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
If you're loving this podcast, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And while you're at it, we'd love it if you could rate and review us. Your support helps more people discover the show, and it keeps us going strong. Thanks for tuning in. It means a lot. I'm Tony.
And I'm Carrie. It's okay to be cranky.
In the meantime, keep creating.
Two Cranky Creatives is produced by me, Tony Federico, and my co-host, Carrie Cantwell. Carrie handles sound editing, I wrangle marketing and communications, and together we keep this cranky train on the tracks. Thanks for listening.